Hello and welcome to the Jim Ryan Fitness Podcast. So that's my little intro. I don't know how to start this off. Basically, this is my first ever podcast, so bear with me. It could be diabolical, but it's going to be a fitness podcast because I want to help you dive into a bit more detail to actually help you with your fat loss journey, your muscle building journey, whatever it is, maybe to just feel better mentally from using the gym, eating healthier. This episode itself, I'm just going to dive into who is Jim Ryan. So basically, who am I? Because a lot of you might have seen me on Instagram or TikTok, but more than likely, you don't actually know me. So this episode, I'll share a bit about myself, and obviously, episodes as we go on, I'll jump in and out. But I plan to do solo episodes for now, and then hopefully, as this grows, I'll start getting guests on. But this could be absolutely diabolical, the first episode, but we have to start somewhere. Same with a fitness journey, it's hard to start, but if you're waiting for the perfect moment, you'll probably never actually get there, and that's a hard thing to realize. So let's scratch that. I don't know if I said about the background there. If you're watching, I apologize. I don't know what is going on, and I will try figure that out for the next one. But basically, to bring it back to birth, I was born in Tipperary, so I'm originally from Tipperary, family of five. I'm the youngest of my family. Um, my dad was a farmer, so I grew up in a farming background, so I was always physically active. Even when it came to fitness, I was in everything. I was in hurling, Gaelic football, swimming, running, even Irish dancing for a few years. I think that's still in my blood when it comes out on a night out when I'm drinking. The Irish dancing moves come out for anyone that does know me. I can be quite lively on a night out, but overall I was quite active and I had a quite good upbringing. So it's not that like we get to our lowest of lows straight away. Like you'd hear some stories and you're like, Jesus, I can't believe they went through that. So I actually was quite fortunate in that sense, and that it was quite healthy food. However, when it comes to food, I would have struggled to actually manage the quantities. So it could be a case of I would cut out quote unquote junk food. I don't call food good or bad, and try not to label it junk food because it has negative connotations when you do that. Um, so I've kind of changed with that now. And then fast forward up, I went to college up in Dublin. I did primary teaching, so I was teaching as a primary school teacher for the last 6 years. I've worked with different age groups. There's great benefits from working with all of them. But I suppose the older ones, there's a bit of crack. They can be a bit cheeky, um, but then they're way more independent. And then the younger ones, they are so much more needy, but they are so funny. Like the things they do and the things they say, they tell you exactly what they're thinking. So like there's loads of positives, and I have learned a lot of skills from actually working in school. So hopefully some of this will translate into this job as well, because ultimately I want to help people. I loved helping children, but I was never getting that satisfaction. Like obviously it was great to help them academically, but it was more the mindset. It was when they couldn't believe in themselves and they actually figured it out. That's when I really got a buzz, that they actually started having that little bit of self-belief. And I always wanted to do something with personal training. I always wanted to have my own business. I just never knew what I wanted my own business in, and there was always an excuse of not getting into the fitness side of things. But then, fast forward, then probably to my most recent part was being at my lowest of lows. So, the lowest of lows for me was when I went through a breakup in my relationship. That was nearly touching 2 years ago now. And I think that was a turning point for me. Because that actually happened to me, it kind of put me down at a place that I felt like, Jesus, what do I do now? I didn't know one thing on what I wanted. And I ended up, because I just felt so bad, this is how I got into the gym. So it was like a turning point. It's like when you're feeling your worst, you just want your head to just stop thinking. We go to the gym. I just went. Before, I would have always nearly not binged to a full degree, but would have binged on sweets, and then I'd restrict completely and I'd be craving them. However, this time was the turning point that I actually didn't get into tracking calories straight away. I just was like, I'm just eating healthy because I wanted to make me feel better. I'm going for a walk. I wanted to make me feel better. I'm going to the gym. I just want to feel better. And that's where it started with my fitness journey. A lot of them things, looking back on it, they did help. However, at the time, I did not notice any benefit from them. Then I did my personal training course, and that was part-time. So I was still working as a primary teacher. And I did the part-time course. It was unbelievable. There was so many hours on the gym floor. I was loving it. You're just helping others. Everyone else, they're into fitness as well, into the gym. I could just keep talking on and on and on about it for days. But I did that as a distraction at first. I was also doing a nutrition course online, which was absolutely intense. I didn't realize how hard nutrition is. It's so simple, but then it's so complex. Like the more you go into it, you're like, oh my God, the amount of nuance in it. But it's incredible to actually know it. But then it has to be a case of, I want to keep things simple for you, because sometimes it's good to dive into the nuance, but then other times you're like, no, do you know what? That's not, they don't need to hear that. Just eat this, you'll be grand. That will help first. And then as you kind of get a hang on that, it's like you drip feed a little bit more extra information that you think they'll start to grasp. Or when they start questioning you, it's like, okay, I can help you this way. So basically then finished the nutrition course, finished the PT course, and I was like, what am I going to do now? I could just continue teaching and try work in a gym part-time. And then I was like, do you know what? Let's try and do this online. Let's give it a go. And I did. I started kind of over a year and a half ago, not less, a year and a bit, okay? To this day, to this podcast. And I absolutely loved it. I was like, geez, this is my bread and butter now. Helping people actually escape food freedom or escape food restriction, because that's where a lot of people were like, geez, I can't eat this, can't eat bread, just from like certain clubs or things you're seeing online. There's so much out there. It's not that you have to get rid of a food group, but sometimes it is beneficial. So if you were on a keto diet and you know you'll do a keto diet for the rest of your life and be happy on that, that's perfect for you. A diet at the end of the day is the food you eat. You can have a good diet or a bad diet. Sometimes you just need to tidy up your diet. And helping people escape that, that was the big thing. But it wasn't just a simple case of like, here's a meal plan, off you go. Here's a gym program, off you go. Coaching is so much more. It's questioning them. It's like, what are you proud of? Even like little wins. It's just getting little wins up under your belt, big or small. The small ones are actually just as good as the big ones, but you need to celebrate them. Like sometimes it's literally just, I got out of bed this morning. It could be that simple. Or I made my bed, I brushed my teeth, I had a glass of water in the morning. They seem incredibly small, but they are actually so beneficial. So depending on where you are at in your own journey, always look for little wins. That's actually absolutely key. So that's kind of a little bit about me. I haven't dived into it completely. Like obviously I love having the crack. I'm easygoing. Um, Empathy is one thing that I have developed from coaching, and one thing I have developed from the breakup, because this is an interesting one. I would have been empathetic, but I couldn't really relate to people like when they were going through something that was, you know, terrible for them. But it kind of just made me stand back a little bit, because when I was going through the worst of it, I ended up leaving a permanent job and going subbing. And by doing that, I was putting on a brave face every day. Anyone I was subbing with did not know it was going on. I was seemed as happy as could be. Well, to me, I thought I was happy, but they probably thought I was happy too. But deep down, I was going through a lot of shit, and I found it so hard to just get up and go every day and just kind of just look at the bright side of things. I would be quite a negative thinker, but I have to always switch my mind to the positive side. So it's the same, like if you're finding you are struggling with your own life and your own fitness journey, this is wrong, that's wrong. Sometimes it's just kind of snapping out of it and looking for a way out. Like I just did positive things that didn't seem to be helping, but looking back on it, it did help. And that's what's really important. So in a way, it gave me a lot of empathy. So that would be something that, it wasn't that I had no empathy, but it just improved so much that when I look at people and they say some mean or nasty comment to you, I'm like before, I'd be nearly ready to bite the head off them. Now I'm just like, do you know what? They could be going through something I haven't a clue about. So it's really opened my eyes up to that sense that it's like you do not know what someone's going through. No matter how good they are, if they take it out on you, there's probably something else that's happening. It might only just be general stress. Sorry. But I really should have fucking filled a glass of water. And apologies if I curse on this. I don't mean to. I try not to as much as I can. A lot of you don't like it, but there will be curses here and there. That it's just in my human nature, especially if I'm passionate. Sorry, that was a bit of a side note there. Um, but that's basically how I got to this stage. And now I'm taking the leap. I I'm taking a year out from teaching, and I want to try and actually push myself on with the online coaching because I want to help people. And if I keep working as a primary teacher, I was doing that on the side for the last year. I had no social life, and I have to say that was tough. Like, just I needed that switch off, and I couldn't. So this year, I'm taking the year out. I'm nervous as hell, but I want to do it, and it's to show you that like you have to go through these uncomfortable stages as well. Not everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows, and even the fact of doing this podcast, I'm really nervous doing this first one. I kind of wrote down a few bullet points before I started, and then I was like, you know what, just speak to the camera and let's see what happens. So these episodes, they might be a little bit all over the place, but hopefully as I go on and do them, I'll do better. But I do know I would not be able to script this. So like if you see my Instagrams or TikToks, they're a bit more to the point. Whereas here, it's just going to be me having a chat with you, and hopefully if there is anyone out there listening, that you enjoy this, because I want to have a little bit of crack on it, and it's a little bit closer to my personality, whereas what you see online is not what you get. Like, it's a snippet, it's 30 seconds in a reel. There's something like that. The topic I'm talking about is so short form. Like, it's great to try and help people, but really you can't actually go in depth and explain it. So that's going to be the main thing. And is there anything else I want you to know about me? I love going to the gym. I love hiking. I was part of a half-assed hiking group that we started. Great crack. Still do it to this day. Other than that, I'm actually going to leave it at a shorter episode for the first one because I don't want to be ranting and raving for too long. And I just want to give you a little snippet of who I am. If you are interested in working with me, I would love to help. So basically, I will be coaching. It could be different. You might need, like, I don't really do nutrition plans. I can do them, but I resist doing them straight away. So it might be a case of within your journey, geez, you do need a bit of a meal plan in here. So here's an idea. But I would try to get you on your own food first. I always try to take a holistic approach with the coaching because one thing is not going to suit everyone. Like, a lot of people think, oh yeah, just track calories. No, that's, for some people, that's actually a terrible idea. They think tracking calories is the best thing, and it's not. You may just need to start eating more fruit and veg at the start, but it's basically looking at your nutrition, your lifestyle, which is a major part of coaching. It's like trying to figure out your lifestyle, put healthy habits in place that you can bring forward with you. And the gym program, so whether it's a home workout or in the gym, that's there as well. But for some people, it's literally just starting with steps. It's not even looking at that. Or other people, it's like, okay, you have your gym program sorted. Let's just look at the general coaching in on the side that we're actually doing it. Like, coaching isn't just, here's a program, off you go. Obviously, you will like that, and that is needed. But a lot of people who need the coaching it's just asking the right questions at the right times and celebrating them wins with you on your own journey. You may not need coaching for long. Like, it could be a case of maybe 3 months of coaching and you're done. You're good to go. Or for other people, they may need a lot longer. It's the same with anything. But it's trying to find yourself and trying to build up that love for fitness. And maybe it's motivation you struggle with, consistency, which is something I struggled with. Like, for me personally, what I really struggled with overall with my own fitness journey would have been cutting out food groups, so cutting out sweets, and then ending up devouring packets. Like, you would say like to stop at one twirl. No, that whole packet of twirls, whether it was a 5 pack or 12 pack, that was just going. Once I ate one, the whole lot. Emotional eating, because I felt crap, I'll just eat the whole packet, and you're in a vicious spiral then because you ate the whole packet. You're like, oh, I've messed up my progress. I've had that all or nothing mindset where I was like, oh, I've thrown the towel now, I'm off the wagon, and I'll just go hell for leather with all the worst things possible. Going to the gym, I'd hit it great for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then that drops off. I've exercised in the past to try and lose the weight. So because I did so much fitness in the past, I naturally kind of kept it off, but then I would naturally gain body fat quickly, especially around my stomach. I'd get a fair old belly. Um, and even like through college, I would have gone to the gym a little bit, but would have been up and down with the amount of body fat. But now seems to be like way more balance within my life. I feel so much freer in myself mentally. I feel so much better. Like escaping that all or nothing mentality is, I think that in itself is unbelievable. Um, so if there is any of you are interested in coaching, please do reach out to me. I would love it. And if you like this podcast, make sure to share it with someone. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is the intro podcast. I haven't really told you, Anthony. It's just to let you know who is Jim Ryan, and I've I've told you a bit. Okay, so you've got a snippet about me, and I said let's start the podcast with an episode around me. Um, yeah, and that's about it. So I'm going to leave it there. Hope you enjoy your day.